Well, tonight we're hearing from 4 women who filed complaints with Oregon's Bureau of Labor alleging a co-worker at Salem's largest hospital sexually harassed them over and over again. 2 of the women say the situation got so bad they ended up leaving their jobs.
And now, more than a year after bringing this to their employer, they're frustrated that Salem Health hasn't done more to address their complaints. 4 of them sat down with our investigative reporter Gabrielle Carroll to share their story and how they feel they were wronged by Salem Health. Gabrielle?
The women say they did everything they were told to do to report harassment. In complaints filed with Oregon's Bureau of Labor and Industries, they detail sexual comments, suggestive behavior, the way he brushed up against their bodies. They emailed their managers, they talked to HR. But 1 year later, the women who still work at Salem Health say they're still forced every day to see the man who allegedly sexually harassed them.
I think that I'm scared to go to work. I'm scared to walk into the lab. I'm scared when I see his car in the parking lot.
In her bully complaint, Melissa Aguilar alleges her male coworker's sexual comments started last summer. She says she felt alone, but she learned there were 4 others who also allege this same man harassed them. Stacy Hoover told Melissa she reported it years earlier.
She said to me, "We can't go to our supervisor. I've gone to her before. It hasn't helped. Nothing's happened. Nothing's changed."
And the women say the behavior was getting worse. One day in the medical lab where they worked, Melissa pointed out blood on Stacy's sweater.
He turned to me and made licking motions with his tongue and asked if he could lick it off of my breast for me in front of other people.
The women say they repeatedly told the man to stop, but it didn't work. These women, all single mothers, say they felt trapped, unable to find other good medical jobs in Salem. They hoped their voices would finally be heard as a group. Emails reflect that Stacy and Melissa reported the incidents to their manager in October of last year. 2 months later, in December, Stacy emailed again saying, "We are both having such anxiety that we have a need for anxiety meds from our doctors." They begged the manager, "Please help us."
To go into work for an entire day every day and have someone make you feel incredibly dirty and helpless, and to feel sick to your stomach to walk into where you've worked for a really long time.
The women's manager emailed about a meeting with HR in January, 3 months after the harassment was first reported. 2 months after that, in March, the women were still emailing their manager about the man's behavior and how it affected them at work.
I always wear a jacket when I'm in there because I don't want to show any kind of skin, and I would wait until he would leave to start any of my duties, and I would go into one of the corners that I was out of eyesight because I just couldn't handle being in his eyesight.
Employment attorneys tell KOIN6 that it can be hard to know what really happened in he said, she said cases. Salem Health hired an outside attorney to conduct an investigation by the spring. Stacy says she spoke with the investigator in April, 6 months after she and Melissa first went to their manager. The other women said they would agree to speak only if their attorneys were present. Their request was denied, so they didn't participate. I asked them why they wouldn't talk alone.
It kind of gets to a point where you feel like you're chasing your tail. You're telling your story over and over and over, and you're crying and saying, "Please help us. Like, we need help. We can't do this." And you tell the same stories over and over, and nothing happens. In fact, it gets worse.
Salem Health wouldn't comment to KOIN6 on its investigation, including whether they've taken any action as a result. Emails show he was given a new schedule. The women say that didn't fix the problem.
He works 5 days out of 7. There's not a day that goes by that we don't see him, interact with him.
For Stacy, the stress and anxiety she felt seeing this man every day proved to be too much. She took medical leave for depression. Eventually, she quit in May 2018 after working for Salem Health for 15 years. The reason she gave for her resignation were sexual harassment and a hostile work environment.
How hard was it for you to leave this job?
I'm still grieving the loss of my job because I placed a lot of value on my job at West Valley because it supported the people that I love the most, my children.
A month and a half after Stacy resigned, Salem Health Human Resources sent her this letter stating that the investigations by the outside investigator were complete and that Salem Health is taking the steps it believes are appropriate. Salem Health also offered to meet with Stacy if she had any additional information or concerns that she did not raise while still working at Salem. Stacy says this was too little, too late. The women are speaking out to advocate for change at Salem Health.
The slogan for Salem Health says you matter, but I didn't matter, and I don't feel like anybody else did. So I just want to make that known.
Again, we repeatedly reached out to Salem Health for comment, but they declined to speak with us because of the open Boley investigation. The man at the center of this also did not respond to Coin6's request for an interview. We're not revealing his identity because there has been no official finding of wrongdoing at this point. Since we spoke with these women, Crystal Vinton has also left Salem Health. Melissa Aguilar says she's asking for a transfer and still emailing managers about harassment and retaliation. Back to you.